True Mansion Horror Story. It was late October, near Asheville, North Carolina. The Bramhurst estate sat deep in the woods, its Gothic towers lost in mist. Leah Evans saw him first, just before the lights went out. Leah, 24, sharp and observant, had just joined the team restoring the estate for a documentary. With her were Joel Patterson, bold and sarcastic, and Alyssa Monroe, soft-spoken but sharp. Carter Lynn, the quiet historian, documented everything with his old film camera. That evening, a storm rolled in. Leah stayed near the library, leafing through a journal from 1911. Out the window, she saw a figure at the edge of the woods. He wore a black hooded cloak. His face was hidden behind a pale green mask, twisted in a permanent, eerie grin. He didn't move, even as the trees swayed violently behind him. Then the lights died. Joel and Carter headed for the basement. Leah stuck with Alyssa, who began hearing soft humming near the hall. They turned and saw him. The figure was standing at the base of the stairs, still as a statue. He raised one hand. Alyssa froze in place. Leah yanked her into the study and locked the door. The humming grew louder. It didn't stop. When the others returned, Carter showed them footage from earlier that day. In a mirror behind him, the green mask stared back. They checked the mirror. It was cracked from the inside. Later that night, Alyssa whispered, "He's not outside. He's already in." And in every mirror, they saw him. Closer, still smiling, watching. The second night came colder than the first. Rain lashed at the windows of the Bramhurst estate, and from the edge of the hallway, the green mask watched them sleep. Joel was the first to sense something was wrong. He woke to the sound of soft tapping knuckle against glass. At first, he thought it was a dream. He rose, walked to the window at the far end of the guest hall. Outside, the trees swayed, but the tapping grew louder. Then he saw it. The figure, standing just outside the window, on the third-floor balcony, where no one could have reached. The mask grinning, the hood soaked in rain. He didn't tell the others until morning. But Leah had already seen something worse. She dreamt of standing in front of the same mirror from Carter's footage. Only this time, her reflection was gone. Instead, the mask stared back, motionless. When she woke, the mirror above her dresser was shattered. Alyssa became distant, barely speaking. She avoided her reflection, covered every mirror in the hallway with sheets. Carter kept filming, convinced they were seeing echoes of the past. He showed them pages from the journals. They spoke of a visitor, cloaked and silent, who appeared to those who trespassed during the blood moon week. That night, the moon turned red behind the clouds. Joel insisted they leave, but the storm made the road impossible. Power flickered again. Then, a knock. 4 slow knocks at the front door. They froze. No one moved. Joel went to check, flashlight in hand. The door creaked open. No one stood outside. But something was left behind. A single green glove, placed neatly on the mat. Leah shut the door, locked it, and pulled the curtain. Carter replayed the sound of the knock. On the second playback, something whispered under the knocks. 3 words, barely audible. "Let me in." That night, Alyssa disappeared. They found her on the attic stairs, staring at a black wall. She whispered the same 3 words. Leah reached for her, but Alyssa backed away. From the shadow, the masked figure stepped forward, closer than he had ever been. Leah froze. The mask tilted, its smile unmoving, yet heavier now, more knowing. Carter aimed the camera, but the screen stayed black. Joel pulled Leah back as Alyssa stepped forward. The figure raised a hand, and the attic lights went out. Only darkness and silence. They dragged Alyssa down the stairs. She didn't resist, but she never spoke again. Her eyes stayed fixed on something they couldn't see. That morning, Carter's tapes were wiped. Every file gone, except one. A single frame of the green mask, taken from behind his shoulder. It had moved, no longer in the hallway mirror, but just over his left side, as if it had been standing right behind him. Joel tried calling for help, but no signal reached the mansion. Leah took the journal again, reading aloud under her breath. She paused at one line, written shakily in red ink. "He doesn't want to hurt you. He wants to be remembered. Don't forget his face." That night, Leah lit candles in the library. She sat alone, across from the mirror, and waited. She wanted to speak to him. Hours passed. Then, quietly, he arrived. Not through the door, not from the hall. He stepped into the reflection, like a shadow slipping behind glass. He didn't move. He only watched. Leah whispered, asking what he wanted. The mask tilted slowly. Then she felt it, a cold breath behind her ear. She turned, but no one was there. When she faced the mirror again, it was empty, and her own reflection had not returned. Later, Carter found her sitting by the candles, unmoving. She spoke softly. "He's not after the house. He's after us." That night, Joel dreamt of standing at the gates, but when he tried to run, his feet sank into the earth. The mask rose from the fog ahead, grinning wider now, watching, waiting, still closer. The rain stopped by morning, but the fog never lifted. Inside the Bramhurst estate, the hallways felt colder. The green-masked figure had started to move during the day. Joel noticed first. He passed the hallway mirror near the dining room and saw it, not in the glass, but in the room itself, still, watching. Then gone when he turned, but the air left behind felt charged. Leah insisted they destroy the mirrors. Carter disagreed. He believed the mansion itself was the anchor. They argued beside the grand staircase, voices low but sharp. Meanwhile, Alyssa kept humming, a tune none of them recognized, soft and circular, like a lullaby with no end. She drew symbols in dust across the wall. In the afternoon, they found a new room, behind a false panel in the east wing. It wasn't marked on any blueprints. Inside were portraits, dozens of them, unlabeled, but all the same size, same frame. Each painting showed the same figure, standing in different parts of the house, sometimes near the stairs, sometimes by a bed, sometimes right behind someone else in the frame. Carter turned pale when he recognized one of the faces. It was himself, mid-filming, with the green mask behind his shoulder. He backed away, and the door slammed shut. The lights dimmed. From the corner, the masked figure stepped through the canvas of one of the portraits. Not violently, smoothly, like liquid turning solid. Leah screamed and tried the door. It didn't move. The figure didn't rush. He walked toward Alyssa. She didn't react, as if she expected him. He raised one hand, not to strike, but to silence. One finger to where lips should be behind that grin. The lights flickered again. Alyssa collapsed. When they got the door open, she was unconscious, her breath shallow. They carried her back to the main room. Joel searched for a signal but found none. Carter reviewed the camera. Nothing had recorded, only static. And underneath it, a voice, low, whispering, "Bring her back. Finish what they started." That night, they burned the portrait room. Flames caught slow. But as the wood cracked, Leah saw the mask in the smoke. They moved everyone into the main hall, close to the door, close to escape. But at midnight, the front door opened on its own. Cold wind swept in, and with it, footprints. Wet prints leading across the marble floor, into the hallway, up the stairs. They followed it only partway. What they found at the top was not what they expected. A new painting, fresh, the paint still wet, of Alyssa, asleep in her bed. The masked figure standing beside her, closer than ever, his hand hovering inches from her forehead. Joel demanded they leave. Leah refused. She believed there was something left unfinished. She believed they were part of it now. They moved Alyssa to the library, lit candles, locked every door. The final hour came slowly. Carter sat against the wall, camera in hand, eyes flickering between doorways. Leah stood beside Alyssa, watching for the mask. And then he was there. Not from a door, not from shadow, but rising from the space between candles, like flame taking form, solid, real, breathing. He faced Leah. She didn't flinch. She asked what he wanted. He said nothing, only stared, and reached forward. She stepped back, but not in fear. She understood now. It wasn't rage. It was memory. He pointed to the journal. Carter opened to the last page. There, freshly written, were 5 words. You are in the painting. The lights exploded. A gust of wind swept through the room. And when it settled, Alyssa was gone. Not taken, not dragged, just gone. In her place, an empty frame. Dusty, old, and inside it, wet paint. A new portrait of the 4 of them. Joel, Carter, Leah, Alyssa, and behind them, the green mask, closer than ever.